name is Paige. I'm a 33-year-old housewife. I live together with my husband Spencer, who is 2 years older than me, my daughter Penelope, who is in first grade, and my mother-in-law. The four of us live under one roof. About half a year ago, my mother-in-law started living together with us. It was because my father-in-law passed away, so my mother-in-law had difficulties living alone on only a pension, so we decided that she'd live together with us. Spencer is the eldest in his family, so I've been bracing myself that someday we will be living with his parents. Also, before we lived together with her, I had an impression that my mother-in-law was a calm and quiet person, so I thought that we'd be able to live in harmony together. When she first came to live with us, my mother-in-law was very silent, like a cat getting used to its new habitat. However, as the days passed and she got used to living with us, her true colors finally showed. My mother-in-law's attitude drastically changed, as if she read a wife and mother-in-law handbook.
Mom, your cooking is very delicious. The sunny side up that you cook is always fried to perfection. The egg yolk is still runny just like how I like it. The egg white is perfectly fried. The vegetable soup tastes divine, and because you added some sweet potatoes and carrots, I have enough nutrition and energy to power me through the day. Thank you so much, Mom. You're the best. I'm truly grateful for always cooking a healthy breakfast for us.
Thank you for the compliment, Penelope.
I'm glad to see you eat it with such joy. Thank you for telling me how grateful you are. Lately, Penelope has been complimenting my cooking. Sometimes I even think it's a bit too much, but I think this is Penelope's way of being considerate and caring for me. My husband goes to work every day for work, so I eat breakfast early with him while Penelope and her grandmother eat breakfast at an hour later together. After sending Penelope off to school, I have to go to work immediately, so I'm always in a rush in the morning. In that frenzied state, my mother-in-law always bullies me, making me wonder why in the world she does that in the first place. I'm extremely busy in the morning, so I want at least a little time to myself. On the contrary, my mother-in-law is always being as annoying as ever.
Oh my, anyone can cook fried eggs, right? You can't even cook a decent omelet, so you just made a fried egg, right? I can tell that you're not being generous with the amount of stock in the vegetable soup. It tastes very bland. When I was younger, I used to cook at least soup and 3 side dishes every morning. But the only food you serve me for breakfast are only soup and fried eggs and a piece of bacon. You're cutting corners with your job as the mother to cook for breakfast.
What? The fried eggs taste bland? It tastes delicious. Her taste buds are just dull. They must be broken. That's how I wanted to respond to her, but just held it all in. How dare she complain like that when she told me that it's too much, when I served her 3 side dishes along with the soup the other morning. She always finds something to complain about when it comes to me. That's when Penelope backed me up. Granny, you don't do much the whole day, but you eat a lot of food for breakfast. You're like a glutton.
Oh my, don't be too harsh, Penelope. What did you just say to me? How dare you call your grandmother a glutton? What a disrespectful granddaughter you are!
Granny, are you all right? Did you already forget my name? My name is Penelope, remember? I'm your granddaughter. The P-E stands for perfect, and E means neat. L-O is for lovely, and P-E stands for perfect again because it deserves to be mentioned twice. I am my mom, Paige, and my dad Spencer's daughter, you know. Remember my dad Spencer? He's your son, you know?
Penelope's making fun of her grandmother and having a lot of fun doing it. Hey! That's not what I meant by that. Whatever. My mother-in-law is very angry, but she hurriedly ate her breakfast and she marched down to her room.
She doesn't have to eat that fast. No one is going to steal her food anyway. She really is very greedy, isn't she?
You're right. Thank you for the follow-up, Penelope. Penelope acts like a mediator between my mother-in-law and I, but honestly, I wish she would stop bullying me in front of my daughter. I've already asked her plenty of times to stop doing it, and I've also asked my husband to warn her about it, but my mother-in-law doesn't listen at all. She doesn't say anything to her son at all. A few days later, the battle I have with my mother-in-law continued for a while, but Penelope and I decided to ignore her. However, her actions escalated lately. my mother-in-law started getting in the way of the household chores. What is this huge pile of clothing? You're the wife, so hurry up and wash the clothes immediately. One afternoon when I was preparing for dinner, I heard my mother-in-law shout at the top of her voice from the laundry room. A huge pile of clothing? I already put all the clothes in the washing machine, so I'm sure that it will be done any minute now. After I wash and hang the clothes to dry, I leave the house for work. That's when my mother-in-law purposefully dropped the clean clothes on the floor. And there are even times when she puts them all back in the laundry basket. That is why I've been washing the laundry after I get home. And that is why the laundry is supposed to be in the washing machine being cleaned right now, but I had an unpleasant feeling in my stomach. I had a bad feeling about it. So I rushed to the laundry room. When I arrived, I immediately spotted my mother-in-law holding a white t-shirt smeared with sand in her hands and smirking. What do you think you're doing? You shouldn't be playing like that when you haven't even finished washing the clothes yet, you know. Look at this t-shirt, it's covered in sand. Why, you're the one who did that, right? What, are you accusing me? Do you even have evidence for you to say that? I pity Spencer for marrying a wife who doesn't even do housework. Hurry up and clean this mess or else Spencer will be home soon. Don't you mind him seeing you slacking around? Ugh! This old woman, what in the world does she want from me? If she has all the time and energy to do that, why doesn't she go work part-time and earn money instead? This woman who has nothing to do, I've had enough of her nonsense. I'm burning with rage and about to burst. Mother-in-law, I won't ask you to help me, but please at least don't make my job more difficult. I couldn't hold it in anymore, so I ended up talking back to her. She was surprised by my words and she made a puzzled look on her face for a moment. However, she regained her composure and smirked at me. She then said, So that's how you're talking to me now. If you talk back to your mother-in-law, bad things will happen to you, you know? She then walked away smirking and went to her room. I can tell that she's up to something again. I then hurriedly placed a bell on her bedroom door. By doing so, whenever my mother-in-law tries to do something, I can tell when she goes out of her cage. I know that she's always up to no good. Who knows what she'll do next? When I was preparing to wash the clothes that my mother-in-law soiled, my daughter Penelope came and said,
Taking care of an adult baby seems very difficult. Well, I guess it's what they say, that humans return to acting like babies when they get old. She looks like a handful.
Penelope, that's right! If I keep on having to deal with my mother-in-law, I won't have time to spend with my daughter.
Sorry, Penelope. I'll help you with your homework later, okay? I already finished it hours ago, so don't worry about it, Mom. Right now I'm enjoying my hobby.
Your hobby? Were you drawing something?
I am a first grader, you know, so I'm curious about everything around me. I'm at the age where I'm enjoying different kinds of hobbies.
Is that so? So, what were you doing?
I was observing animals.
Observing animals? But there's no animals in the house.
Yes, there is a rare beast called your mother-in-law. That is quite an interesting animal, you know. Like how she struggled when she tried to stop the washing machine, and how she went all the way to the park to get sand and poured them into a water bottle. It's a masterpiece.
What? She did all of those? I guess she's putting her life on the line just to bully me? Then I heard the bell ringing from my mother-in-law's room.
The rare beast is escaping! Mom, I will remove the sand from the shirt, so you should go and capture the rare wild beast.
Roger that! When I went to the kitchen, I saw my mother-in-law standing by the stove. She was holding the pot in her hand and she was smirking. Simmered fish? What a frugal dinner! What are you planning to do with that? I won't do anything with it. If what she's saying is true, then why is she smirking while holding the pot in her hands? Oh my, it slipped from my hands. My mother-in-law pretended it was an accident and she threw the contents on the floor. Stop it! Paige, you really are very clumsy, aren't you? I can't believe you threw the dish that you cooked. You really are a very clumsy wife to your husband. What do you think you're saying? If Spencer sees this, I'm sure he'll be disillusioned. You really are a good-for-nothing, useless wife. A switch broke in my brain when I heard those words come out of her mouth. I've had enough of this nonsense. I can't continue living with this monster anymore. That's when my husband arrived home. Perfect timing, Spencer!
I'm home. Huh? What is this? Paige, are you alright?
Yes, I'm fine. Paige, I can't believe you threw what you cooked just because it didn't taste good.
Why in the world is she lying with impunity?
What have you done? I can't believe that you threw the food on the floor! Unbelievable!
What? She really is a good-for-nothing wife, right?
Huh? No, I didn't do it!
I can't stand this anymore! I've had enough of your reckless behavior! Get out of here!
You're just joking, right, Spencer? I thought you were on my side. He told you to get out of here. What a pitiful wife.
Mom?
Yes, what is it, my son?
I was talking to you! If you had the time to laugh around like that, pack up your things and get out of here ASAP!
What?
Huh?
I know that you're the one who threw what Paige cooked, and I also know that you keep on pestering Paige, especially when it comes to the household chores. I can't continue to live with you if you keep on acting like that.
What? What are you saying, Spencer?
Oh, that's my Spencer. He believes in me after all.
I heard about everything you did to Paige, and I read it all in Penelope's observational record. So you can't make excuses for this.
It makes sense now. So that's why Penelope was observing her grandmother. Thank you, Penelope.
What? But isn't kicking me out too much? I am a pitiful old woman living off my pension, you know.
I already asked Yasmin to take care of you, so rest assured, you'll be in good hands.
What? To your younger sister?
I've been talking to Yasmin about the situation. I asked her if she'd be willing to accept living with our mother. She told me on the phone earlier that she's fine with the arrangement. I was thinking hard about how to tell you about the news, but you made it easier for me to tell you because of what you did just now. Get out of the house! Now!
Spencer, thank you.
What? Why are you thanking him? How cruel of you to kick your own mother out of the house. Please don't abandon your own mother, son.
Spencer packed the things of my mother-in-law, who was clinging to him in tears. He called a taxi to pick her up, and he shoved her inside the taxi along with her things. With this, peace in our family will return. We changed the door lock so we won't have to worry about my mother-in-law coming in with spare keys she has. As for Yasmin, my sister-in-law, she didn't have a good relationship with my father-in-law, and she's a part-timer who lives alone in an apartment. That's why I heard she doesn't have enough financial capability to live with my mother-in-law. However, when Spencer told her that he would send $500 every month as an allowance, it seems like she reluctantly agreed to live with her. Having $500 less for our family every month is a huge, but it can't be helped. 1 month later, our lives without my mother-in-law were very peaceful. Because of this issue has been settled. Or so I thought. On the weekend, my sister-in-law contacted Spencer and she told him she had something important to talk about, so she will come to our house. I have a bad feeling about this, so I told Penelope to stay in her room and to not come out until I tell her to. I don't like how this is going to go. I feel scared. That's when my sister-in-law arrived.
Big bro, how could you use Mom like that?
See, I hit the bullseye. Yasmin looked at me and started accusing me. That was the beginning of the heated conversation.
That woman induced you to do it, right? How sneaky of you to take away Mom's money and kick her out of the house. Give back the money Mom paid to you.
What?
Huh?
Spencer and I looked at each other in surprise. It seems like my sister-in-law thought Spencer and I took all my mother-in-law's money.
Mom paid rent, heat, and electricity cost, and she also paid for food expenses too for half a year, right? How dare you take away all the money she had from her pension?
We didn't do such a thing.
You're spitting out lies all the time. Mom told me that Paige, you used all the money that Mom inherited from Dad. That's why I've always hated you since the day we met. You always have that expression on your face like you can see right through me. You even usurped your mother-in-law's fortune, you shameless thief!
Oh my, she's accusing me of many things.
How dare you accuse Paige of such a thing?
Shut up! She used up a total of $80,000!
Huh? Do you seriously think that Mom had such an amount of money?
Oh my, Spencer is now appalled. I was just asked by Mom to come get the money that you stole from her. Mom was crying, saying that she was sold for $500. I will never forgive those who make my mother cry. How dare she say that? She was just asked by her mother to do that? It's for her mother's sake? I was able to see right through my sister-in-law, so I intuitively knew what she really wanted to do. That's why I thought I would disclose Yasmin's true intention. Yasmin, do you really think that your mother has $80,000? Mother-in-law used up all the money that father-in-law earned by buying expensive things, but she never saved a dime. Are you telling me that you have no idea that your parents fought about money even though you're her daughter? My mother-in-law has a bad habit of spending money and she never saved money up. Her attitude towards money is to use the same amount that she gets. That is why we thought that she would have difficulty living if she solely relied on her pension. That's the reason why she started living with us in the first place. However, it seems like my sister-in-law completely forgot about that fact. But Dad left quite a huge amount of money to inherit, right?
What are you saying? Of course that money doesn't exist. Because Mom used it all up.
That's what I've been telling her the entire time. But what about the money she got after selling the house? Do you really think your parents owned that house? They were renting it for $1,100 a month. What? They were just renting it? I grew up in a rented house? But it wasn't a condominium. We had our own lawn and everything. There are apartments that have lawns. You lived in that house practically your whole life, but you've no idea that it was just rented? But it's true that you used all amount of pension that she received every month, right?
Mom will use everything up if she gets a hold of the money. That's why Paige and I managed it for her. Also, we handed her $300 per month, and we put the rest in her savings account. I handed the whole amount saved before she left this house.
Huh? What? You've got to be kidding me. But she told me that you made her pay for rent and utilities. She also told me that she paid for food expense and also for Penelope's cost of the lessons she's taking. Oh my, it seems like my mother-in-law has made up quite the story. There's no sense of consistency in her story. She didn't even have anything to back her up when she talked about the money being used by us. She has exaggerated the story in so many ways. That's why her sense of stability is falling apart. I should properly teach my sister-in-law about this. You mentioned that I paid for rent, but this house is ours. We bought it. That is why there is no need to pay for rent. What? Also, Penelope is at the age now where she finds everything interesting, so she has hobbies of various kinds. That is why she doesn't go to learn other skills. I wonder what she was paying for. What? So Penelope isn't learning a new set of skills? But my mom told me that Penelope is learning 4 different skills. She isn't learning anything new this year, so you're warned. Also, isn't it strange that she claims she paid for gas? Because this house is 100% operated by electricity! But my mother-in-law lived here for half a year, but she doesn't know that we bought this house. And also, everything in this house is operated by electricity, and also she has no idea what her granddaughter is doing. This is too hilarious! Like mother, like daughter, right? Oh, shut up! Oh my, did I upset her? Or maybe she's embarrassed? My sister-in-law's face turned red and the steam is coming out of her nostrils. I just came here to take back Mom's money because she told me to do so. Wow, what a wonderful daughter. You love your mother, don't you? But Yasmin, did you really come here because your mother told you to? Of course. Oh my, her eyes are wandering. Well, that's strange because your mother's not here with you. Why didn't she accompany you? I know your mother well. Knowing her attitude, she's the type of person who, if her daughter is going to yell and get angry, I'm sure she wouldn't want to pass out on this, right? Ah, wait a second. I guess she wouldn't say that she'll come with you because she has been telling you lies all the time, Yasmin. So there's no way that she'll come with you to take the money back, which she didn't give us in the first place. So she can't come here with you because she's a big fat liar. What? Well, that's because if you tell her that you will come to get her money back, she will stop you with all her might, right? Yasmin, you pretended that you believed the lies of your mother, and you are trying to pretend to get the money back so that you can put it all in your own pocket. That is...
Yasmin, You!
If you don't admit the truth, I'll just blurt out all your secrets. All right, yes! I was secretly trying to get the money. As I thought. Because I thought that Mom and I could live off with my mom's pension and the $500 allowance from Spencer, so I stopped working part-time. But Mom's pension is very little and she uses $200 just on food every month, so there's no money left.
What? You stopped working part-time?
Because the pension... They say that old people live off their pension comfortably, right? That was a lifetime ago. What? It pains me to say this, but there are only a very few number of people who is able to live off comfortably with their pension. There's no way that two people without plans would only be able to live comfortably off one person's pension. You don't even know common knowledge of today. Then Brick Bro, why don't you add more to the allowance? I went out of my way to take care of our annoying mother. Whoa, I won't deny that my mother-in-law is very annoying, but that's not what a daughter who thinks of living off her mother's money would say. If you say that she's that much annoying, would you prefer if Spencer and I take her in?
Paige?
Of course, you can have her, because my mother, who doesn't make any money, is useless! Is that so? Well, then how about this? Spencer and I take her in and you send us $500 every month for allowance. Huh? Why would I do that?
Of course, that's simple. Because we will be taking care of your annoying mother for you. By the way, if you stop living with your mother, there will be no pension nor $500 for you to use every month. Are you fine with that?
What? Oh my, I forgot about that. I will take care of Mom. So Big Bro, keep the allowance coming, okay?
Yasmin?
What? Could it be that you're thinking of increasing the allowance?
Please, tell Mom that I won't send her allowance every month anymore. I've made up my mind because she treated Paige and me like thieves. This made me decide to finally cut off ties with her.
All right, that's my beloved Spencer. He finally said it. Wait, what? What are you saying? How do you expect us to live without you sending us allowance every month?
You should work. You and Mom are healthy, so work.
Just as he said. You won't be able to pay for your pension if you don't work, you know. If that happens, the amount you'll receive from your pension will be way lower than what your mother is receiving now. Or worse, you might not even receive a dime in the future. My sister-in-law came here thinking she would get money. But after she cried a river of tears for a while, she left our house feeling helpless. My husband then called my mother-in-law and he told her on the phone about my sister-in-law's visit to the house. Spencer also told Yasmin about how he won't be sending her allowance anymore because of how she treated us like thieves. Finally, he announced to her that he would cut ties with them. Lastly, Spencer warned her that if she is seen in our neighborhood, he will report her to the police. Since then, Spencer has blocked her phone number. She is now suffering the consequences of her actions. This is what happens when you become too greedy. Eventually, my sister-in-law is living with my mother-in-law, and they're living off my mother-in-law's pension, but she finally started working part-time again. However, my mother-in-law apparently uses the money she earns immediately, so they have a huge fight about money every month. As for my family and I, our peaceful and happy days are finally back.
Today's eggs and bacon breakfast is so yummy, Mom. The hardness of the egg yolk is just right and the bacon is very crispy. This is the best egg and bacon breakfast in history.
You're right. They're cooked to perfection. I'm a very lucky man to be able to eat such a delicious breakfast to power me through my workday. We're the happiest people in the world. Right, Penelope?
Yes, we're the happiest people in the world. The two of them are exaggerating.
Ever since my mother-in-law stopped living with us, my husband, daughter, and I have been eating breakfast together. As usual, Penelope praises my cooking, and it makes me feel a little embarrassed. And Spencer also praises my cooking, too.
Huh? Paige? You're not having eggs and bacon like us?
The bacon wasn't enough for 3 people, so I decided to only have sunny side up. I forgot to buy more at the supermarket.
What? Really, Mom? Is that so? Then you can have half of my bacon. Oh, really? Thank you, love.
If that's the case, then I'll share half of mine with you too.
Wow, really? Thank you. Because if you keep on being gruff, you'll turn into a wild beast, you know?
Huh? Ah, I can tell you've been secretly observing, Penelope.
You got me.
Oh my, look at the time! Let's hurry, or else we'll all be happily late!
Oh my, that's not good. Okay, now let's take all the nutrition and energy we need from this breakfast and do our best today. Every morning there is a huge commotion in our house. But thanks to that, we are able to spend every day with huge smiles plastered on our faces. My name is Paige. I'm a 27-year-old single mother. I got married when I was 18 years old, and I gave birth to my daughter at 19. But things didn't work out with my husband, and we ended up getting divorced. After the divorce, I've been raising my daughter by myself. It's difficult to make a living while taking care of a little one. So Penelope struggled with me as we lived a very frugal life. However, despite those factors, Penelope has grown up to be a very good girl. Mom, what kind of person was Dad? That's a good question. Regarding his looks, he was a bit dark and handsome, and he looked very mature to me. Well, I was still 18 when I met him, so when he picked up on me, I couldn't resist and followed him wherever he went. Is that so? But you got divorced immediately after I was born, right? Yeah, that's right. Now that Penelope has turned 8, she's now curious about the kind of person her birth father was. Well, I think it's natural to just want to know about one's birth father, so I've been trying to be careful when answering her questions, but when I was 18 years old, I worked part-time at a convenience store and was head over heels for Tyler, who was 6 years older than me. I didn't know back then that he was a useless man.
Paige, let's go on a date today after you finish work. I'll treat you to as much pudding as you want.
Yippee, really? If that's the case, I'll go change immediately. During the early stages of our relationship, Tyler and I used to go on dates like this every day. He always came to see me after I finished working part-time. He didn't have a job of his own, but he earned money through betting on horse races and gambling at casinos. Tyler, are you okay not having a job? You're always gambling. I was worried about Tyler, so I asked him that, but he answered,
Actually, I have an IQ of 200.
I was surprised by his unexpected response. What? Really? Your IQ is 200?
Well, yeah, that's what I was born with. That's why I'm good at gambling. They're games of chance, so it's easy for me. All I have to do is calculate the probability. I can make money through gambling, so I won't have trouble financially as long as I keep doing this. I'm capable of doing many things other than gambling.
Is that so? I don't know if his 200 IQ score is true, but come to think of it, I've never heard Tyler lose a single gambling match. He thinks very fast and knows a lot of things. Because of that, Tyler sometimes disappears all of a sudden, bringing back tons of money with him when he comes back. He continued to do that while we were still together. I heard that he won gambling matches overseas, but when I asked him about it, he always evaded the question. If I knew back then what I knew now, I would have never been fooled by such a suspicious man, but I was young and naive back then. So I saw that side of him as cool.
Paige, let's get married. I will look after you, Paige.
He fooled me with those words and we ended up getting married. I got pregnant immediately after that and gave birth to our daughter. However, after I gave birth to Penelope, Tyler didn't change his bad habits at all. He continued to live as he did, disappearing for months at times. Tyler, we're raising our daughter together, so at least stay home for long periods. At least play with Penelope and bond with her.
Shut up! I pay for our living expenses, so stop complaining. What's wrong with you? You turned into a very annoying woman.
He has no parental awareness at all. He has no intentions of creating a happy family, too. As a consolation, he has a bad habit with women. If my daughter and I continue living like this, he might have a negative impact on Penelope. I fell out of love with him because of his very irresponsible behavior. As the father of our daughter, so when I turned 20, we got a divorce and I became a single mother. Promise me you'll pay for child support after the divorce, understand?
Yeah, understood.
He promised me that he would send me child support every month. But after we got divorced, he immediately disappeared. That bastard! How dare he use his intelligence only for his good, not thinking about his family. Since the divorce, I have no idea where Tyler went. Bringing my little daughter with me, I searched for a place where we could live. Not long after, we found ourselves in a hot spring resort in a small town very far from where we used to live. Actually, my parents are what people would call toxic and abusive parents. When I was little, I was swayed by my parents' selfishness. I wasn't able to go to school every day and barely graduated. However, after I graduated from middle school, I ran away from home. While I was working part-time and living in different places, that is when I met Tyler. With that said, I never studied at a university, and I'm a middle school graduate, not even a high school graduate. I'm a middle school graduate and with a daughter, plus without a single relative to rely on. The world was very harsh on me. No company would want to hire me for a job. I somehow ended up in the small town, far from the concrete jungle that I lived in before arriving here. The owners of the hot spring resort welcomed Penelope and me with warm hearts. I am truly thankful that you came, Paige. You are a lot of help to this resort. The customers love you for your service, too. If possible, I would love it if you worked here forever. Penelope, you've grown into a very kind girl. A very good girl indeed. I should be the one thanking you, Jennifer. Thank you so much for allowing me to work here. I will never forget my gratitude to you and your husband. Jennifer and Benjamin don't have children, so they treat me like their own daughter, and they pamper Penelope like she is their own granddaughter. All I have is gratitude for this very kind couple. It seems like Penelope inherited her father's intelligence because when she was 1 year old, she started talking fluently, and when she turned 3 years old, she was already using the computer, typing away like an adult. And then during Penelope's 5th birthday,
Mom, thank you for working hard every day. I want to grow up fast so I can help you earn money. If I help earn money, you'll be able to eat more, right?
Penelope has grown into a very mature girl, even saying words like this to me. Oh my, the tears won't stop flowing because my little girl has moved me to tears.
Mom, please don't cry. You really are a crybaby.
Penelope is still 5 years old, but she acts and speaks like an adult. Thank you, Penelope. I don't need anything else as long as I have you by my side.
Yeah, me too. I have all that I need as long as you're with me, and I don't need my father at all. Besides, he will just be super annoying if he's around, right? I mean, I don't want to think that he's my father because he left us and ran away with the woman. We don't want a man that doesn't even pay for child support. We don't need a man like him, and he doesn't deserve us.
Oh my cute little daughter has grown up to be a very reliable and caring little girl. My work at the hot spring resort needs physical strength, but even customer service needs careful attention to the guests. At times, some guests will ask me difficult requests, but I'm pretty good at dealing with difficult situations by being creative. Seeing me weather through the storms of difficult requests, Benjamin suggested I do something.
Paige, I think you're quite resourceful, and the way you work is rational, and it makes sense. I'm impressed with the way you work. Penelope's a very smart little kid, too. I'm sure she took after your intelligence, Paige.
What? Do you really think so?
That's right. Paige, you're actually very intelligent, right? If you're not intelligent and you don't think fast, you wouldn't be able to respond immediately with a good idea, like you did earlier when the customer asked for your idea. You won't be able to predict what will happen next if you're not smart, you know.
Really? Do you think so? I've never really been able to study well when I was in school, so I've never thought that I was intelligent. Hearing those words come from Benjamin, I was shocked and frankly quite happy. I've been thinking all along that the only reason why Penelope is a smart kid is because she inherited her intelligence from her father.
Thinking about the child-rearing expenses for Penelope, I think it would be wise for you to manage your assets. With your intelligence, I'm sure there won't be harm in studying. If you're fine with it, I will lend you the book that I use to learn about management and other important skills in life.
Everything that led me to success started with these words from Benjamin. Since that day, I started learning a lot about management, taking time off sleep to make time for learning. And the more I learned, the more fun I had. The investments that I started buying, not expecting much, but just thought that I would be happy if it would be a little more profitable than my savings. I was able to strike rich with the stocks that I chose. My talent as an investor flourished, and the small amount of assets that I had got multiplied by 10 and then 100 and then multiplied by 1,000. I eventually had enough reserves built up. Because of that, Penelope and I were able to live a life without any worries, together with my saviors, Jennifer and Benjamin. Then a few years later, Benjamin passed away because of his illness, and Jennifer was left to run the resort business by herself. However, Jennifer's management skills were not that great, so the hot spring resort instantly faced bankruptcy. Paige and Penelope, I'm truly sorry. I will have to close the hot spring resort because of my lack of management skills. According to Jennifer, the Profit Group, a major hotel chain, is trying to take over this place resort with a very aggressive move. Hearing that, this hot spring resort has changed our lives for the better. We'll be gone forever because of that. Penelope and I couldn't hide our shock. Isn't the Profit Group famous for their management that cuts labor fees and other costs? I won't let them change the management of this well-established resort into that machine-like management. Thinking that there must be a way to save this place, I decided to search for them to learn more about my enemy. I was surprised to see that the current president of the company is Tyler Profit. The man in the picture on their website is my ex-husband, Tyler Profit. I will never forget that mischievous face with an evil grin.
Mom, isn't that man my father?
It seems like Penelope, who saw the pictures of the man, also noticed that it was her father. After Tyler disappeared and was nowhere to be found, he remarried the daughter of the then president of the Profit Group. He has now risen to be the president of the Profit Group. Huh! What in the world is this? I can't believe that bastard was living comfortably without paying child support, while Penelope and I were struggling to live in poverty. Paige, I will have to hand everything to them after 3 months. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to ask you to go. Seeing Jennifer droop her shoulders like that, something inside me burst. That bastard! I will never forgive him. It seems like Penelope also noticed how I felt.
Mom, this is the time to take our revenge on him. We're gonna sanction him, the bastard who abandoned us. We're gonna beat him up so badly. There's nothing to fear if we team up, Mom. Let's throw him to hell.
Penelope! Penelope is my daughter, but she's still 8 years old. The power for an 8-year-old is quite scary. But despite that, I agreed with Penelope's idea. Tyler has never paid Penelope's child support, and on top of having zero sense of responsibility, he's trying to ruin our happiness. I will never forget him this time around. That bastard. Just like that, I decided to take revenge on my ex-husband, Tyler. 3 months later, the day to hand the hot spring resort to Profit Group has arrived. Tyler and I finally met again. The hotel doors opened and Tyler marched in with his head held high and proud, swaying his arms happily back and forth, oblivious to what was awaiting him. Tyler might have become the president of the company now, but he's still as shady looking as ever. It seemed like he finally noticed that I was the one standing in front of him.
Huh? Wait, could it be? Paige and Penelope? I noticed your names when I read the employee list, but you're living in this remote countryside, and you're doing a menial job like you used to do!
That's bastard! Whose fault does he think it is that we've had to live here?
Oh my, if you've noticed, then why wonder why you didn't pay Penelope's child support? You're still very stingy. I guess you haven't changed at all, have you? I guess once one is born stingy, they'll remain stingy even when they become rich.
He seemed irritated by my comment. Tyler then lost his temper and raised his voice.
Shut up! I didn't come here to chit-chat with you! Call the manager and owner of this resort, ASAP!
To rant and rave like that. What a narrow-minded man.
All right then, I guess it's about time I strike back. Time for the counterattack. Huh? The owner? But I'm the owner of this resort. All the debt of this hot spring is paid off already, so you're not supposed to be here, you know?
That's right. For the past 3 months, I doubled and even tripled the stocks that I had for my savings, and I used that money and succeeded in buying this hot spring resort. Under the instructions of the genius kid Penelope, this whole plan has been going on behind the scenes, unbeknownst to anyone until today.
Huh? What in the world are you saying? Seriously? That's nonsense! Do you really think that someone like you, who's at the bottom of the food chain, would be able to defeat someone like me, who has an IQ score of 200?
Oh, there he goes again. I knew he was going to brag about his IQ score again. I can tell he hasn't grown up since when we last met. This is when Penelope said something for the first time today.
We already won, because I have an IQ of 200 too. There's no way we would lose to someone like you. We have more than enough money too.
With that, Tyler's response was,
Oh, is that so? That's my daughter. I see that you've inherited my DNA.
This bastard only thinks about is himself. I'm glad we got divorced immediately when we did. You have always been boasting about your IQ like what you're doing now. You think you're the only smart one, don't you? But let me tell you this. Penelope didn't inherit your intelligence because she inherited mine!
Oh? What do you think you're saying?
What a surprise! But I have an IQ of 200 too! I bought this hot spring resort with the money I profited from my investments. That's right. Since Penelope said that she wanted to take an IQ test, I decided to take the test for fun of it, but then I found out that I also have an IQ of over 200. So I wasn't able to go back to school decently when I was young, so I never really knew about my intelligence. But well, I did notice that I was good at remembering things. Benjamin probably saw those qualities in me.
What? But didn't you tell me that you weren't able to go to school decently? When you were just in middle school? You're just joking around, right?
No, she's not joking around. Mom is telling the truth. With me and Mom combined, we have a total IQ of 400. So we will crush you, loser.
Saying that, Penelope pointed her thumbs downwards. It's too powerful. That's right! Brace yourself! On a roll, I did the same pose as Penelope. These past 3 months, Penelope and I gathered all the information we could about the Prophet Group to oppose them and win. The computer has been Penelope's friend since she was younger. To my surprise, Penelope is now able to do anything with the computer for such a young age. Because of that, we were able to find out that Tyler was doing unscrupulous business. We found out that Tyler was concealing his income and was also threatening his employees daily. Penelope was able to investigate and probe into the facts thoroughly. Look, this is the evidence of your bad business practice. I do not tolerate this. If you're going to interfere with our lives any more than this, I will show you no mercy. When Tyler saw the evidence in front of him, even that confident bastard flinched and got overwhelmed.
Seriously? How in the world did you even gather this evidence?
Don't you ever underestimate me just because I'm an elementary school student. This is a cinch for elementary students in this generation. It's a piece of cake. It's a breeze to spot an evil deed. It's a walk in the park.
Penelope, she knows these phrases even though she's still little. There are other options like this photo of you in the middle of an affair with another woman. I wonder what I should do with this one. That's right. I found this when I took a look at Tyler's images from the in-house camera. The scene of an affair within the workplace, he hasn't changed at all. He is still a womanizer.
That is...
Then he suddenly started shuddering when I showed him a photograph of the scene of the affair.
My wife will dump me if she finds out about this. Please have mercy on me.
Oh my, it seems like he's under my thumb now. I wonder what would happen to the momentum he had earlier. I wonder what I should do now. While Penelope and I were grinning, Tyler started crying.
Paige, please, I beg you. I'll withdraw from this hot spring resort, so please. Also, I'll pay Penelope's child support in one lump sum. So please, I beg you, Your Highness Paige, I'm sorry for what I did to you.
Oh, what a pity. His 200 IQ is a useless treasure at this point. We ignored Tyler, who dropped on the floor crying. Penelope and I walked out of that place like nothing happened.
Mom, that isn't as cool as you described. I'm a little disappointed.
You're right. I thought it was cool back then, but I guess I'm cooler now. After that, we reported the Prophet Group to the police, and we exposed the bad management by the company. It got covered by the media, and in no time the Prophet Group's management deteriorated, and they went bankrupt and collapsed. I also sent the picture of the scene of the affair to Tyler's wife. I heard they got immediately divorced after that. That serves him right. Tyler then disappeared and escaped from the police, but when Penelope started seriously searching for him, she found him in no time. Well, once Penelope gets serious, it's only a matter of time before she finds the missing person. He should reflect on his actions while he's locked up in prison. As for me, I'm currently learning a lot about how to run the hot spring resort. I'm having a lot of fun being engrossed in studying. I will review the precious management and plan to make this hot spring resort a very profitable one. Paige, thank you so much for your help in this matter. I truly thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm sure my husband is also thanking you from up above. Jennifer, Penelope and I are thankful to you and your husband too. No amount of gratitude would be enough to show you how much we appreciate your help to us. I've always thought that I wanted to return the favor to you. I still vividly remember the day when you and your daughter collapsed in the front door. I thought an angel had fallen out of the sky when I saw Penelope that day. We were so exhausted that we had no strength left that day. That is why we collapsed on the floor. But I guess Penelope and I were guided by something that led us here to you. This hot spring resort is now our hometown, because it is our beloved home. Thank you for your continued support. I hope we continue this good relationship. My name is Paige. I'm a 26-year-old hairstylist. Ever since I was a little girl, I wanted to become a hairstylist. I just couldn't get enough of watching the customers look in the mirror and smile with excitement about their new look. It just makes me so happy. This is exactly the job of my dreams. That's how much I love it. Work is going great. And very gratefully, my personal life is going great too. Actually, just the other day, my boyfriend Thomas that I've been dating for 3 years proposed to me. Thomas was 4 years older than me and 30 years old. He works in the same beauty industry as me, he's super handsome, and he's totally popular with the ladies. Perhaps his soft-spoken nature is the secret to his popularity, regardless of age or gender.
I'm so glad that you accepted my proposal, Paige. And to be honest, I didn't know what I would do if you said no and I was worried.
Of course I would never do such a thing, because we've already been dating for 3 years now, plus I was also thinking that I wanted to get married soon.
Oh, really? Well, I guess that means that we were both feeling the same thing. I'm so happy.
I know! It looks like we're going to be a happy husband and wife. Oh, but what I am a little bit worried about is that you're just too handsome, Thomas.
What are you talking about?
Because any straight man in our industry is already popular just for that. But you've got great looks. You're tall, and on top of that, you're kind and thoughtful. And also...
Hey now. That's too many compliments.
Because it's the truth.
There's absolutely nothing for you to worry about, Paige, so you can relax. For example, like cheating. I really don't like twisted things like that anyway. And I don't have any interest in anything that's out of line with humanity.
Yeah, you're right. There's no way that you, of all people, would do something like that. I feel a lot better now. Thank you. As you can see, Thomas was truly kind, and he was always putting me first. He was someone I could rely on at all times. If I am going to walk this life with this person, I know I can get through anything. I truly believed that. But even though I trusted Thomas for a fact, how do I say this? To be honest, I have to admit that a part of me felt that something was a little bit off. Because, when you think of a proposal, I thought that it would come with a ring or at least some kind of present. Actually, I secretly had my hopes up for that. But there wasn't a single thing like that. For a girl, an engagement ring seems to be a pretty big deal, though. There was no ring and not a single other gift either, and on top of that, it wasn't in a fancy restaurant or during a meal in place with a nice ambience. There wasn't any surprises at all either. And I thought, well, this was pretty bad. That's why I decided to build up the courage and confirm with him. Hey, Thomas!
What's the matter, Paige?
Hey, we're gonna get married, right?
Yeah, that's right, but what about that?
Well, how do I say this?
What's the matter? If there's something you want to say, then say it clearly.
I was just wondering about, like, the wedding rings or a wedding ceremony or stuff like that.
What?
No, I mean, how do I say this? But a lot of girls look forward to that kind of stuff. My friends also show off their wedding rings to each other, so...
To be honest, I don't really have much interest in things like that. Because in reality, a ring isn't actually that necessary. The most important thing is our feelings, isn't it? Our feelings.
Yeah. So I guess that's how you think about it, Thomas.
Plus, a wedding is just going to cost us money.
What? Well, sure, that's true, but...
Right, so all of that is unnecessary. If we have money for that, then it would be much better use of it to spend it on something else.
You think so? But I can't understand that at all. Every girl's ideal is to have a beautiful ring and to have a wedding. Why can't he understand how a girl feels just a little bit? I sometimes hear about people who don't have any interest in wedding rings or weddings or even a honeymoon. But I guess it turned out that Thomas was one of those people. I can't deny that it made me sad, but I guess there was logic to it. At the time, I tried to think about it positively, that perhaps it was better than spending our savings or going into debt. After that, both of our jobs were really busy. But we somehow made time for each other, and we went on date after date. We called them date, but every time it was always at one of our houses. Apparently, he didn't even want to spend that much money on a date.
We need to start thinking about our new place to live together soon. We could just move into one of our places, but they'll both be pretty small.
In that case, how about one of the newly built apartment buildings by the train station? We would be renting, but I think it would make our commutes a lot easier than it is now.
Oh, we don't need a newly built apartment like that.
What?
It's going to cost money. If it's a little bit further away from the station, it'll be cheaper. And even if the building is a little bit old, as long as we can live there, it's fine.
Well, I guess that's true, but Thomas, you're actually very... how do I say this? You're good at saving. I need to watch and learn from you, and I'll do my best to. I thought really hard about it. I realized that it's just Thomas hates to waste anything. I think he's just living his life efficiently so as to not waste any money or to waste any time. I changed my way of thinking, and I surprised myself by being able to let go of the things that were troubling me until now. Like the wedding ring and the wedding ceremony. Yeah, this is what I want. That's right. Maybe this is the smart and efficient way of living. I started to adapt to this way of thinking, too. And then, the day before we were going to submit our marriage certificate, we finished informing both of our workplaces. And I was super excited that starting tomorrow, I was going to be somebody's wife. Thomas, we finished filling out our marriage certificates, and starting tomorrow, we're finally going to be husband and wife. What time will you be done with work? I'm going to put my all into tomorrow and make us a feast.
Oh, about that. I'm actually going drinking with a friend tomorrow night.
What?
What do you mean? What's the big deal? I'm going to be together with you all the time from now on. And it's not like just because we submit our marriage certificate, anything actually changes.
Don't you think that's a little terrible? It might not be anything to you, Thomas, but to me, tomorrow is the day that we get married, and it's really important. Don't you think you could be together with me, at least on that day?
Ugh, you're so annoying. Anyway, tomorrow's my first time going out drinking with my friend in a while, so don't get in the way, okay?
Get in the way? That's awful.
Obviously. When someone is finally having a good time, don't get in the way of it by contacting me, alright?
Hey, what's with the sudden change? And who are you seeing when you say it's been a while? Bring me with you. Why can't you bring me and introduce me as your wife at least?
Huh? Definitely not. There's no need to announce to everybody every time that we got married. So anyway, I'm going out drinking tomorrow night, okay? Alone. You have the day off from work, so you can go to the city office and turn in the marriage certificate.
What? We haven't even submitted our marriage certificate yet. Is it okay that I'm feeling uneasy about it? Are things going to go well when we get married? I I started to get a nervous and suspicious feeling really inside of me. Because who is he going to meet on the day that we're officially getting married? No matter how you think about it, it's not normal. If there's nothing suspicious going on, then what's wrong with introducing me? This is definitely suspicious. There's no way I could submit my marriage certificate like this. And I didn't think that we'd become a married couple while I was feeling like this. That's why I decided to take a step out and take action. I made up my mind, and the next day I decided to follow Thomas to his plans. Well, I suppose this is called stalking. At that time, half of me was filled with this unsettling feeling, while the other half still had a little bit of hope. I still wanted to believe in Thomas, so I was excited that maybe he was going to actually prepare a surprise for me. He said it was a waste of money and there was no need, but maybe he was actually getting a ring? I still had that hope inside of me, but where Thomas was headed was the high-end restaurant on the luxury hotel of the Grand Panit Hotel? Why? Not only that, but this restaurant is extremely expensive. I sat down at a seat a little bit far away from the table that Thomas was taken to, and I observed. And then a woman appeared by herself. Thomas, sorry to make you wait. Did you wait long? I missed you.
Ashley, long time no see. I missed you too.
What do you mean long time no see? It's only been 2 days.
You're right.
Hey, are you sure it's okay that you're seeing me today? Weren't you submitting your marriage certificate today?
Yeah, it is, but that's such a chore, and I made my wife do it. So there's no problem.
I see. It looks like you're a married man, Thomas. And you know what? You're starting to look even more attractive. I love married men.
Oh, come on, Ashley. I'm such a bad girl. Well, that's part of what I find so cute about you.
Oh, stop it, Thomas. Are you sure it's fine? Isn't your wife waiting for you at home?
It's fine. I told her I was going out for drinks today, so if I tell her that I got too drunk and I missed the last train and I'm gonna stay over, there's no problem.
That's my Thomas. You're so hot. Wait, what is this? Cheating on the day we're submitting the marriage certificate? Are you kidding me? I often hear that nothing good comes out of looking at a man's phone or following them, but it looks like it was true. Seeing my fiancé's unbelievably true nature right in front of my eyes, I was upset, but a part of me was also relieved. Because it's not like I'd submitted the marriage certificate yet anyway. He's still a stranger. But you know, when I think about it like that, I was starting to get even more irritated. Alright, why don't I make that man watch and weep? He's going to understand what happens when you make me mad. The next day, Thomas, who didn't know anything, came home in a great mood.
I'm home. Paige, yesterday I got too drunk and I missed the last train, so my friend let me stay at their place. I'm sorry. You must have been worried.
Uh-huh.
But it's always nice to see a friend you haven't seen in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, when the conversation is lively, the drinks just keep going, too.
Is that so?
Hey, Paige, what's the matter? Why are you being so dry? You and I are married now, so don't be so upset just because your husband didn't come home for one night.
Huh?
What?
What do you mean, married? What do you mean, husband?
Hey, what are you asking?
I should be asking you. What are you saying?
What do you mean? But because we said that we were submitting our marriage certificate yesterday, right? That means you and I are husband and wife since yesterday, right? Right?
This guy! Who does he think he is, and what nonsense is he speaking right now? I've already reached my limit of patience. Why don't I just kick this guy straight down to the bottom of hell? The marriage certificate? I didn't submit it.
What?
There's no way I would submit that. Did you really think I would get married to a guy like you? Not if my life depended on it.
What is that supposed to mean? Is this about the wedding rings? Or is it about the wedding ceremony? No. What is it that you're so upset about?
Huh? Well, then let me ask you. Who's that woman named Ashley? If you think that I don't know anything, you're making a big mistake.
What? What? Why do you know that?
Why, you ask? I thought it was so strange that you would go out for drinks on the day that we're supposed to be married officially, so I took the liberty of following after you. Then, well, looks like you had quite the good time, didn't you?
How could you do that to me behind my back? Who do you think it is that picked up a sad, lonely woman like you that didn't have anybody else? Why don't you answer that?
Huh?
When you were little, your parents threw you away, and you didn't have any siblings. That's why you should be grateful that I picked you up. Yet, you're trying to call off the engagement here like this? I would be happy to sue you if I wanted to.
Ah, it's exactly as Thomas says. By the time I was old enough to remember, I was already taken in by distant relatives, and that's how I spent my childhood. But then, even those relatives kicked me out of the house when I graduated middle school. I didn't go to high school, and instead was taken in as a salon hair apprentice. And that brings me to today. Thomas, on the other hand, lived the complete opposite life from my devastating past. So he felt pity for me all this time. However, I worked really hard to change my own life, and I worked really hard to find this job of my dreams. And that's because it was all of my own hard work, and because I decided my own way of living, that I was able to get this far. And so, there was no way I was going to let Thomas say anything about it at this point. Yet, Thomas was trying to get the upper hand on me by bringing this up.
Anyway, I'm saying that I'm doing you a favor by getting married to you, with no education and no skills. So you have no right to have any complaints.
Oh, what is wrong with this idiot? I can't keep this up anymore. It's so pathetic. It's way too pathetic. Anyway, there's no way I'm going to live with a guy like this. Impossible! That's why I said this to him. No matter what kind of past I may have, I don't need you to tell me anything about it, and I don't have a single ounce of guilt about it either. And I don't need you to empathize with me, not even one bit, but using my past as a way to give yourself the upper hand and make yourself seem like the savior is absolutely outrageous. This engagement is being destroyed because of you, and that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to be suing you and that woman named Ashley. I've turned in all of the evidence to the lawyer already anyway.
What the hell? A lawyer? You don't need to make such a big deal out of this. Man, cheating isn't that big of a deal, right?
Huh? You... What did you just say?
Cheating is something that almost every guy out there does.
Yeah, nope, that's it. Any feelings I had left for you, they are now all out the door.
Hey, wait.
And to be honest with you, wedding rings and a wedding ceremony are the memory of a lifetime for a woman. And there's no need for me to be with a guy who's going to be cheap and refuse these things just to save money.
All right, fine. I'll buy you a wedding ring, so fix your mood.
No, that's way past what the real problem is. And these clueless, idiotic parts of you, I'm also done with. I will never, ever forgive you. I've already informed your workplace that you've destroyed the engagement. And of course I've told my workplace already as well.
What the hell are you doing? That's not something for you to walk around telling everyone.
They were worried about me and asked me what was wrong, so I just told him honestly that you were cheating on me. And then everybody was saying what a truly terrible guy you are, so I can't wait to see how they look at you the next time you go to work.
What have you done? Stop going around telling everybody things like that.
All I did was tell them the truth. Unlike somebody here, I'm not a liar anyway. I never want to see your face ever again, so we can speak about the rest through my lawyer. Goodbye.
Paige, wait, please. Paige.
Thomas was crumbling in tears, but I left him, and I hurried myself out the door. After that, I sued Thomas for a settlement fee of $30,000 and $20,000 from his affair partner Ashley. I also made sure to inform Ashley's parents as well as her workplace. It turns out, even though it looked like Thomas was saving money, in reality, he was spending it all on Ashley and his savings account was completely empty. Not only that, but he was using his credit card to go shopping or to go on dates, so he was actually quite in a deep debt. I'm so glad I didn't get married to a guy like that. It goes without saying that after this, those two were riddled in debt and kicked down to rock bottom. They were both chased by debt collectors and were caught in a living hell. On the other hand, as for me... There, you look so beautiful in this new haircut again. It really looks good on you. I am putting my all into my dream job to this day. My engagement may have been destroyed, but now I'm being supported by my customers' smiling faces, and every day I'm able to work hard. Next time, I'm going to find myself a good guy.
Thank you for watching! What kind of crazy people will we get to see next? Stay tuned for more!